Good morning. Good morning. How we doing today? Oh man, I am the worst with these dang on cameras. Like I swear, this phone hates me. But hey, we gonna make this happen. We are going to make this happen this morning. All right. Good morning. How we doing? Hey, look, got a little couple quick things I want to throw out there this morning into the world. All right. So the name of this one is No in Paint. All right. First, we're gonna talk about the paint, then we're gonna get to the no. Right now, I asked the question about paint. What is the purpose? What's going on there, Sorry, Mr. Breck? What is the purpose of paint? And I haven't asked this question that many times, but the couple of times that I have asked it, I've gotten the same response. And when you ask people like, "Hey, what's the purpose of the paint that's on your car?" They're gonna say to make my car look good. You know, the majority of people when they pick a car, one of the things they take into consideration is the color of the car, right? Is to make the car look good. What if I told you were wrong? I'm like, it may be a selling point, it may be attractive, but that paint serves a different purpose. The purpose of the paint that's on your car is to protect the metal. If that car didn't have paint, clear coat, primer, anything like that on it, and that metal was just exposed to the elements, it will begin to rust. And once that metal starts to rust and it goes away, you know, your car is ineffective. Your car is not going to be what you paid for. It's not going to be something that will last the testament of time. Now, like I said, the majority of people they think that paint is there to make the car look good. It's part of it, but that ain't the main reason for the paint. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, "Oz, what are you getting at?" This is what I'm getting at, right? So right now in the military, we got a lot of changes. Like the Gray Beard told us last night, this ain't the first time that this stuff done happened, right? We've lowered standards before, all right? We've lowered requirements before. We've relaxed some things so that we could attract people to come into the service. Now, the Army as a machine is the metal, it's the car, right? It's the car. All of these things that we're doing, like allowing tattoos and no GEDs and all of these other things, all of those things, that's paint. All of that is paint. It's all paint. The purpose of the paint is to protect the car. We got to move these things around. We got to change the color of the paint, because to attract different people. We got to change the color of the paint. That's all we're doing right now is changing the color of the paint. The actual thing that is the car, the Army, it's still the same. It's still the same. We are trying to protect the machine that has been here since 1775. That's what we're doing. That's all that we're doing. Okay. Um, and I just bring this up because it's a lot of people that's just getting bent all out of shape about nothing. Because at the end of the day, right, we're talking about doing things to allow people to come in for initial entry positions. Like these are initial entry positions. This is a starting point. In the civilian world, they will refer to it as being a journeyman. I had a conversation with one of my younger siblings, right? I ain't gonna put him out there like that, but he'll be all right. He won't care if I share this. But we had a conversation, and he was talking about becoming an electrician. And he said, he was like, man, I went to the trade school, and they were telling me that to be an electrician, I'm gonna have to be a journeyman for like 4 years. And I'm gonna be making minimum wage. He's like, that's a long time to make minimum wage. I get little raises here or there, whatever. But that's a long time. And I looked at him, and at this point, I had been in the Army for about 14, 15 years. I said, bro, I'm like, guess what? I was for a very long time, like 3, 4 years. He was like, what? A journeyman. I'm like, you know what we call journeymen in the Army? Privates, specialists, very young sergeants. Those are journeymen. You're learning your craft. You're getting those skills that you need to move to the next level to be a master at the things that you got to do. You're a journeyman. That's what it is. There's no difference. We just don't call it that in the military, but that's exactly what it is. The journeyman has to learn how to become that professional to do the things that is required of them to lead at the next level. That's what it is, right? So he looked at me and he was like, wow. And the thing that I was trying to drive home was this: nobody is too good to not be a journeyman. If you want to be successful at anything, you have to be willing to suck at it. You have to be willing to put time in to get better, right? And that's at some point we lost sight of that. We just said, and I got it. We for a long time we pushed kids to go to college and so that they can be managers and be this and be that. But there's nothing wrong with being a skills tradesman. There's nothing wrong with that. Somebody gotta do it. And if not you, then who? Right? All right. Let me get off of that one and I'm gonna get on to the next one. I don't want to keep y'all on them at 5 minutes already. Let's talk about no. Let's talk about no. And look, I know this right here, this probably gonna trigger a whole lot of people, but as I always say, I don't care. We can have a conversation. We can be professionals about it, but we can have a conversation. I'm willing to talk to anybody. And as long as we respect each other and remain professional, the conversation will continue. The minute that it goes left, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna close that conversation because I value what we have. I value the relationship. I value the relationship too much to have a sideways conversation. All right. I would rather have the right conversation than the wrong argument. All right. MRT plug. Now, let's talk about no. Here's the thing about no, right? There's a lot of leaders who get bent out of shape and get upset when someone says no. No isn't necessarily a bad thing. Now, look, this is what I'm saying. I am not telling young leaders to go out there and just tell their leaders no for the sake of it. We got 3 rules, right? We always got 3 rules. It's got to be morally right, ethically right, and it's got to be legal, right? Those are the 3 bases that we teach our very young soldiers at the end of the day, right? That's the 3 bases, right? Now, it is okay. It is absolutely okay to say no, but follow up that no with what we can do. Don't just say, don't just come out here and say, no, I'm not doing that. Say, hey, look, we can't do this because of X, but this is what we can do legally, and then back it up with a regulation. Okay? I'm not telling you to go out here and just, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not doing that. It's not disrespect for someone to tell you no. All right? We're all professionals here. Okay? You have to be able to articulate yourself. And I'm going to give you an example of a time I had to say no. So I was with an organization, okay? And this organization will remain nameless. It was a great organization, but leaders have to learn too. And leaders can't learn to if people aren't willing to say no. And here's the story. So there was something that happened, like a suspicious package showed up at the 18th Airborne, 18th Corps headquarters, and a unit was alerted to, check it out. So set unit comes to the motor pool. I'm the motor sergeant. And the unit is trying to just rush out the motor pool. But there's a process. Everything is about processes. Great units do routine things great routinely, right? So there's a process. And if we need to get out the motor pool quickly, we do what we call an alert dispatch. The process is extremely quicker than the normal process. The normal process is going to take you a little bit of time. It ain't too terrible. We can work through it. It's like a battle drill with anything else, but we work through it. But with the alert dispatch process, I got me a roster. I got my dispatches. Commander done already signed them. Only thing I got to do is get my dispatch control log, and I'm making sure that soldiers got the license to drive the equipment that they're qualified to drive, and they go head on about their business, right? So that's not what happened this day. They thought that they were going to come down to the motor pool, just jump in some vehicles and leave. No, not on my watch. I locked the gate. All right? I locked the gate. Nobody's going anywhere. Nobody's going anywhere. There's a process. We need to follow the process. Because here's the thing. If one of them soldiers would have gotten a vehicle that they were not qualified to drive, and they had left that motor pool and gotten into an accident, you know what the story would have been? The story would have been non-commissioned officers aren't doing their jobs. We didn't follow proper protocol. That's what the story would have been. Not on my watch. So I locked the gate. So my XO calls me and he's going off. He's losing his crap. Just going off. And I'm like, sir, we can have a professional conversation, or, we can come back and engage this when, you decide to come down. He kept cursing. The phone got disconnected. I don't know what happened. I didn't hang up on him. All right. So he calls back, same thing again. And then just the phone got disconnected again. I don't know why this kept happening. So I told him, like, hey, sir, we can have a professional conversation, but we're not going to be disrespectful. So either way, what happened was we went ahead. I got my people I got my people dang on their alert dispatches, and they got out the motor pool the correct way. Well, the next day we go down to the training meeting. We sitting in the training meeting, and the commander's thanking our company because we did not get caught outside the motor pool with illegal dispatches like everybody else did. All right. The exercise was an exercise on us, and we didn't know it. So all them jokers that ran out the motor pool without having dispatches, without having their license and all that other stuff, they got hemmed up. But my company looked good because we followed protocol. And at this time, when my commander's thanking us for doing the right thing and, following the procedures and this, that, and the third, my XO's sitting in the corner and he's just, looking like he's in trouble, like somebody's going to tell on him. No, that's not what we're going to do. That's not what we're going to do. When the meeting was over, he came over and he apologized. And I told him, I said, sir, look, I am here to ensure that you don't do anything that blemishes your career. And sometimes that's going to require me to tell you no. That's what it's going to require, because we could have went ahead and done it, and then we would have been out there explaining like everybody else. But because somebody was willing to hold the line and follow the policies and procedures that have been put forth by the commander, we didn't have to experience that. All right. And look, like I said, I am not telling anybody to be insubordinate. That is not what I'm doing. But what was the very first thing I said? Illegal, immoral, unethical. It was illegal to do it. There's a process. And if you look, and I've talked about this before, if you look inside of a regulation, if you look inside of any Army regulation, in the very beginning, there's a portion that's called a supplementation portion. And I beg you to go look it up. I don't care how long you've been in the Army. If you've never seen the supplementation portion of the regulation, go look it up. I promise you, you're going to be blown away, right? Because when you look in that supplementation portion of the regulation, this is what it's going to tell you. What is in this, the things that are in this regulation cannot and will not be changed unless written approval is provided. And then it tells you the people that you need to submit documents to get written approval to be exempt from doing what is in the regulation. All right. It didn't say, my commander was going to assume risk. It didn't say none of that. That's not what it said. This is an AR. In any AR you look at, that's what's going to be there. So that is what I was standing upon. When I was younger, I was told as a non-commissioned officer, you have to stand upon regulations, what's in black and white. I've never seen anybody go to jail for standing on what's in black and white. It's in black and white. That's it. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to be angry. Just be right. That's it. Just be right. Okay? Now, look, I know I said a whole lot. I stayed a little bit longer than I had intended on, but as non-commissioned officers, we have to stand on black and white. We have to. We have to stand on black and white. We have to. And look, understand there is a gray area. We have to understand that there's a gray area as leaders. But guess what? We do not operate in the gray area. We just need to understand that it exists. That's it. All right? So, leaders, if you got somebody that has a spine enough to say no, don't be afraid of them. Embrace them. Figure out how to use your influence to get that person to do the things for you that you need them to do. Okay? As long as they're not being disrespectful, figure out how to work with them. Pull them in. Teach them how to explain their point and articulate what it is that they need to do. All right? That no needs to be to keep somebody out of trouble. It doesn't need to be a tool for insubordination. Okay? There it is. All right. Hey, look. Hey, I love y'all all. I appreciate you for joining me here today. Mega what? Sorry, Alex, I see you out there. My brother, how you doing? Let me see who else we got in here this morning. Ray Ramondo. Sergeant Major, what's going on? Good to see you. All right. Okay. Hey, look. You are important. You matter, and don't let anybody make you feel as if you're insignificant. You are important to me. If ain't nobody else told you, you just heard it here first. All right. Look. Life is a choice. I'm depending on you to choose well. Oz here signing out. I'll be talking to you soon.